Welcome everyone to Neo Reality Collective. So today's edition is pretty packed with a bunch of news in the world of wrestling, especially after what happened on Monday Night Raw. Xbox pre-orders went on sale today. It's the first day of fall. Let's celebrate this moment. We're talking about some pop culture news. So there were reports that went out that Melina had re-signed with WWE and would be debuting, returning within a week or so, which would be theoretically this week or next week. And Melina has come out and denies the reports that she re-signed with WWE on Facebook. According to Mike Johnson, PW Insider reported yesterday that Melina was on her way back to WWE and was expected to return to the program within the next week. Melina, however, took to Facebook to claim the reports of her returning are false and went on to take shots at wrestling news reporters themselves. Select statements from Melina include, "I want you to realize that these sites that claim they know what's happening don't. How many times have they falsely reported things about me since and said I am returning? You can't believe them because they do not report real or correct news. They often twist things to get clicks. I am not signed with WWE, but that doesn't mean it's not a possibility. My reason for this post is that it bothers me that these sites lie to fans. If I potentially get signed, don't forgive them for lying to you. I don't know what my future holds, but I know 2020 has taken so much from me, from all of us. Going back home to WWE would feel like everything I've gone through was for this very moment, but we don't know what's going to happen. There's so much more than just give someone a contract. I lost my father last month. I am emotionally ready. Am I emotionally ready? I'm 41. I am physically capable. Oh, is there a story available? Simply talking to WWE makes my heart happy. I am grateful for my time with them. One day I'll come home, but when the time is right, so if it doesn't happen now, I'm sorry that you thought I was returning. If it doesn't happen, well, these sites ruined a great surprise. You should be upset that they cheated you of that moment if it happens. If I didn't come back, it's okay. My life is always about gratitude and positivity. Melina will always find and create happiness even when there seems like there is none. But if I return, I am going to put every bit of heart in it and honor my father and every bit of my soul for the loyal fans who follow me all these years. Standing by me, though, through the good and bad, I love you all. Never forget. Please stay safe." So that was Melina's public statement regarding the reports that came out. And those were the select statements from her Facebook post. It was probably much longer. Uh, like, it's understandable if she's denying this, if it's not true, okay? It's a 50-50 shot at this point. But at the same time, it's like John Morrison denied it, his wife denied it, and then John Morrison came back. So what's to say Melina won't do the same thing? And this is going to lead to a stupid former love storyline between John Morrison and Melina, because of course we need to revisit the past instead of building towards the future. They wonder why ratings are sometimes down. But yeah, Melina, whatever her decision is, it's her decision. Cultaholic reporting why Tessa Blanchard decided not to resign with Impact Wrestling revealed because they hate her. Blanchard has been a free agent since June 25th when Impact fired her and stripped her of the World Championship. The Queen of the Carolinas contract was expiring ahead of Slammiversary 2020 on July 18th, and both sides failed to agree to terms on a one-night deal so Tessa could drop the title. It is unknown why Tessa Blanchard hasn't signed any deal with Impact ahead of her firing, but Dave Meltzer reported the World Champion decided not to resign because she thought she could get a better contract elsewhere. Nothing official. She left Impact because she believes she could get a better offer elsewhere. That seems to leave the two options unless Ring of Honor is really aggressive at strengthening that division. So, yeah, it's either AEW or WWE. All or nothing. So, I don't know what the end game goal is in this, but I was thinking to myself, so Impact gave you all this, gave you this platform, built you up, made you a mainstream name, even though they're in a small division, and you're saying, I could just do somewhere else. Like, I mean, like, this is problematic, but I was like, fulfilled your dates. You're the world champion. Can you at least drop the belt? But I would have been that philosopher. Like, you can not re-sign with us, but can you just come in and drop the title? Just once. We'll pay you as much as you want. Just drop the title for us. We want to end this on a good tone for a potential future of where we could work together again. But let's squash this and just work together on this and finally rid this. But yeah, she decided, no, I'm gonna have an attitude about it and leave, even though and take your title with you and demands for money. So, oh man, it's problematic in my opinion to see that 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 happened. Why Tessa has not really improved her attitude on that, but she's scheduled to go ahead. She has returned on September 12th, competing in her first match where she dropped the Warriors Wrestling Women's title to Kylie Ray. So, yeah, that's the big problem there. But AEW and WWE, they're the biggest companies right now that could make an offer to Tessa and make it worth her while. However, Tessa's attitude is the main toxic problem. If she goes to AEW, she pisses everyone off because Big Swole hates her but is willing to give her a moral chance. She did say in a public statement on Twitter a few months back, and I retweeted it several times, that spiritually it would be the best place for her because her father's a pastor. He could rein her in. He could do something with this. And I was like, if AEW takes that risk and brings her in, yes, viewership wise it might go up, but backstage morale might be a different problem. So I was thinking they need to put a heavy restriction on her. She screws up majorly, one strike and she's out. WWE can handle her. WWE can deal with her, because if she goes to WWE, I said this, it wouldn't be the best idea for Tessa's attitude because Vince is very toxic leadership style, and you know, the third party band he tried to do and got Andrew Yang now coming out to him every single night. So I get the feeling that if they do this route, it's probably going to end in disaster with them. It's going to make her worse. But yeah, Tessa is going to have a lot of big offers from WWE. Most likely does seem to hint that they're going with that. But so in other news, Shinsuke Nakamura had a line on Raw that someone forgot to take out, and yeah, WWE continues its downward spiral, where apparently, King of Strong Style Shinsuke Nakamura still line saying if they want smoke, they will get cancer. Which, okay. WrestlingNews.co, Paul Davis reported this line was not supposed to air, which is why Michael Cole repeated an amended version saying they're going to get some here tonight instead of they will get cancer. And noted it was just another chaotic day on at that Raw on September 14th, which resulted in someone simply forgetting to switch promos. So, yeah, this is part of the whole Paul Heyman left, the USA Network's pissed. So, WWE failed Raw, and look where we're at. Robert Roode, everyone. Bobby Roode. He's apparently returning to WWE TV soon. So, back at Elimination Chamber pay-per-view, Robert Roode teamed up with Ziggler inside the demonic structure against 5 other teams for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. The Glorious One ultimately lost the match, and he hasn't been seen since because of the ongoing coronavirus pandemic. WrestleVotes reported the former NXT champion is expected to return to Monday Night Raw in the next couple of weeks, probably as early as tonight, though that didn't happen. He was traded to the Red Brand along with his tag team partner in exchange for AJ Styles back in June because of the toxic turmoil between Styles and Paul Heyman, apparently. This is what they tweet. This is what WrestleVotes tweeted. Robert Roode, who's been away for months, is expected to return to Raw within the next week or two. So, yeah, that he didn't appear on this week's Raw. It was a complete disaster, from what I heard. I'll get to that. But Bobby Roode coming back, it's going to affect nothing. He could literally show up on Raw, no announcement, and no one would care. That's how disinterest fans have made WWE has made Bobby Roode, because like they already made it weird enough as it is with the mustache change. I'm still weirded by that, But the Robert Roode change is like it just comes out of nowhere. It's just a backstage interview instead of building to it. So yeah, his NXT his glory days are behind him now because of the WWE's management mismanagement. Let's go with that. So there was a report regarding Tenille Dashwood, the woman that really signed with Impact Wrestling and shocked the world because everyone had hoped she would go to AEW or just anywhere. But yeah, Tenille Dashwood on September 1st. In addition, returns to the promotion during Danoa Perez's Black Tie celebration. I'm pretty sure I pronounced her wrestling name wrong, but she is former NXT talent. The former WWE superstar hasn't been seen since April 14th, and she quickly started a feud with Jordan Grace as the former knockout champion took offense to her time on the sidelines. The two women will go one-on-one tonight on that, but on tomorrow night, which is tonight. It was said that, let's see, fans shouldn't expect her outside the promotion anymore, as the former WWE superstar told Fightful Select that she has signed an exclusive contract with the company. Dashwood added that she doesn't plan on leaving the promotion anytime soon, as long as she's happy and things go how she would like. She didn't reveal how long the current deal is, but yeah, Tenille Dashwood is Impact Wrestling for life for the foreseeable future. But sad, we won't get to see her anywhere else, but she wants to stick to one place, so let's go with that. Also, I am hoping that that if AEW does work with Impact, they have Tenille Dashwood so up there if that's allowed, but it's right now just an exclusive contract. But and it looks like AEW might be working with NWA, so really that could be the route. But yeah, I would have. But yeah, Tenille Dashwood is exclusive to Impact for the foreseeable future. Would have loved to see her work everywhere else if she wanted to, but if she's happy, she's happy. James Storms, however, is not happy. The Cowboy is a free agent, no longer under contract with NWA, the National Wrestling Alliance. So, Fightful Select reports that the Cowboy, James Storm's deal with the promotion ran out on February 1st, only days after he and LJ captured the tag team titles. Storm may well re-sign with NWA, but the Cowboy hasn't been advertised for UWN Primetime Live. Storm has wrestled at all during the pandemic. His last match was back on March 14th at Extreme Annihilation Wrestling Survive the night. So, yeah, that was the last time we saw him, and I don't know if he'll come back, but yeah, I like James Storms. I feel like he was very underrated. Like he was what Bray Wyatt back in 2014 was supposed to be, and I kind of did want to see James Storm and Bray Wyatt fight eventually. And WWE wanted to give him a big push because they crafted AJ Styles' phenomenal music for James Storms initially. But then James Storms went elsewhere, and they were like, "Well, we have this music. What do we do with it?" AJ Styles, he's from the same area as James Storms. Let's give it to him. So, yeah, it's kind of weird when you hear that story running around. But now it's like, wow, now you can't imagine AJ Styles without that music in WWE. I mean, like if he went somewhere else, then he could probably go with other names. But still, James Storms, no idea where he's going after this, but I'm not saying he's going to go to AEW. I don't know if he's going to go back to Impact. He might renegotiate and go back to NWA when they get everything up and running again. But yeah, I am hoping that that if NWA does get the great James Storms involved in this, I get the feeling like if he does stick around, then we might see him in AEW. If for no reason, then because there's a working partnership deal, if Thunder Rosa is able to achieve the mission. So, WWE continues its, oh my god, we have failed miserably at this. So, NXT at the Performance Center, they did not join the Thunderdome event. If that was the case, it probably would have went differently. But it was reported by Fightful that several WWE Performance Center classes at the makeshift facility were canceled due to an outbreak of the COVID-19 virus, which happened over the past few weeks. So, it was added that the sources reported to one of the Fightful correspondents how some people had gotten relaxed with the mask wearing, especially in spots where some people congregate, and there was some concern over that. Some of the policies for the performance center including mandating masks while outside the ring, but not while performing inside the ring or in the gym area. People in NXT were still testing positive for COVID as recently as this weekend. It was believed that a performance center coach may have accidentally spread the virus. So let's perfectly sum this up. 3 months in, WWE's fucked up big time. So they had the policies in place, they had everything in place, and now it's like, at this point, WWE, the roster needs to start thinking, oppressive leadership, outbreak of virus that could potentially kill us. The boss is insane. Our members of Retribution got screwed over. It sounds like those fictional movies where they go ahead and have an oppressive government, then there's all of a sudden a plague. Are we screwed? Yeah, and I posted a clip of the Mummy movie from Tom Cruise where someone says, "What are you thinking? I'm thinking we're probably gonna die here. I know it." That's basically what it is. Like, someone should have realized by now, we are really going to die here if this keeps up. And Vince is not going to take the big steps needed. It took over 30 people to say, we need to start taking this seriously now. We need to start taking this seriously. My buddy Trump, what do you think? It is not a concern. It affects nobody. Ignore the counter that says 200,000 people have died. We're now plus that, but it's still good. We are horrendous dumbasses, and my dumbassery has spread to other people. And if I have to say anything about it, please vote for me in November. So, yeah, look, if you like Trump, fine, whatever. That's your political opinion. I'm not going to tell it. Just don't shove it in my face. There. But this is just a continuing disaster, WWE, in their handling of the COVID virus. Like, and they probably did get overconfident. Like they thought, like, the whole belief of, if you get the virus now and if you survive it, you're immune to it, even though there were reports that some people got it more than once. But, ignore the news articles and scientists coming out saying you can still get the virus and it could lay dormant in you, but it would be undetectable by testing. So just be careful still. Nope. No one died, so I think that means we're in the clear for the next whole thing, right? Damn it, this is such good shit. So, yeah. If someone gets hurt, if someone dies from the virus in WWE, it will be on Vince's hands. So, Retribution. Oh, God. There are 100 things wrong with this angle. I was pissed. I was pissed about this because I was like, oh God, Vince, you didn't do this, did you? So they have been exposing the members of Retribution finally, revealing their faces, and they have received official contracts for the WWE because vandalism equates to hire because they have potential. And it looks like the main 5 members are believed to be Dominic Dijakovic, Dio Madden, Mia Yim, Mercedes Martinez, and Shane Thor. Or will be the core members, but they will still use unidentified masked members, like we have seen in various segments on Raw and SmackDown. So, okay, 3 male members of the group were given their names: Mace, T-Bar, Slapjack. Remember, we're supposed to take this seriously. So, Oh god, just hearing those names, it's like it's already weird enough as it is that they're trying to impersonate Bane and failing miserably because they're not that bulked. But why are they called those names? Even if they go with code names, that's still stupid. At least when you have the Dark Order, I can at least make an argument that, oh, when you give them the numbers, it's a symbolic gesture. When you join the Dark Order, you lose part of your identity and you're reduced to a number, even though they use their real names on the BTE shows, and they're still and the head spokesperson, Evil Uno, still has his name. But even though everyone knows their names, they're still referred to as their numbers, and yada yada yada. At least there's a metaphorical interpretation you can make with that to some extent. This does what metaphorical interpretation does this mean? Mace what? Mace Windu? Because if it's Mace Windu, I will not like him. T-Bar, Slapjack. Oh, this is submission sorority in WWE all over again, because someone did research over the dumb names. Slapjack? Oh god. If I say this, I'm pretty sure I will be demonetized for the offensiveness I'm going to say. Slapjack on the Urban Dictionary means the act of release, let's go with that, on one's hand and slapping another person in the face. You know what I mean by release, right? It's a thing you do when you try to stimulate oneself. I will not say it for the sake of my sanity, but I will still say, Vince, you're this is $1 million, and they're not researching words like Paige, Charlotte, and Becky had told Vince and told WWE, hey, I think Submission Sorority is also a porn name, but so yeah, I think this is a dumb idea. And then Vince was like, so Slapjack is a lewd name. And it was already bad enough that they wanted to use the Slapjack name for a pun. Flapjack. And then it got worse. T-bar is when one is wearing a thong or G-string. They sit down, it sticks out, and you see a T-bar. Oh god, this company's so fucked. Oh god. Oh god. So WWE, so the creative team, AAA, spent months to a year or so building these talented wrestlers up. Building their roster, building their name, building their characters. Creative team on main roster goes ahead and says, we're going to turn them into a based off of politically charged stuff going on in the world right now, based off of some real anti-stuff going on. So our idea of retribution are based off the current issues going on in the world. And we can take these people as disgruntled workers who feel NXT is being destroyed by the WWE from within. And then Vince comes in and it's like, Slapjack, T-bar, Mace. And I wrote in the GIF of art saying this, AEW and Impact, ladies and gentlemen, GIF, it's hunting season. Because, let's be honest, this will be taking us shots. They will shoot at this, and I will love every moment of it. Because this... And I'm pretty sure everyone else knew what this name meant. Because it just got worse for Retribution. When the segments happened, they were reportedly met with laughter backstage. This is what WrestleVotes reported. The mask and names already making the road for these guys impossible to climb. And it was met with laughter. So, yeah, Dominik Dijakovic is T-Bar now. Dio Madden is going by Mace, and the third, believed to be Shane Thorne, is being called Slapjack. Vince, how do you fail at this? How do you fail so hard now? How do you fail at this? I am convinced you are failing at life nowadays. But you don't care because you're getting the money. So, yeah. Retribution for me is dead. You had something going, you were getting politically charged and making people uncomfortable with these politically charged angles. Well, when there's real riots going on in the streets, and yeah, fucked it all up. It's amazing that WWE royally hates its own creative team. I can't even blame creative. I blame Vince because he had to have made these names out and didn't do research. So, moving on, back to the NXT world of we are going to be called up and be destroyed by the WWE management. Blackheart, one of the brightest young stars in NXT, said her heart stopped briefly on Monday night when she came across a false rumor about her release from the WWE. NXT's Tank Girl didn't realize the tweet was posted by a fake WWE Twitter account, which tweeted that she had been let go of the company. And then she wrote, "Wow, my dumb butt actually fell for this for a sec. My heart stopped. Good night." Within an hour, the same fake account posted other fake stories such as Jinder Mahal's release, because everyone wants to see that at this point, even re-signing a new contract. I would have only approved of this if this was a manager for Roman Reigns, because that would have elicited heat for everyone. It will be interesting to see if the Twitter police take down this account. But, yeah, so, yeah, she fell for this, so I'm pretty sure that account is like, yes, 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 we got him. So, yeah. But, she shined with WWE back in 2019 and received a lot of praise for her match against NXT Women's Champion and Io Shirai during last week's main event of NXT. So, yeah, and WWE on Fox responded saying that is probably Robert Stone's WWE burner account. So, yeah. So, as we continue the saga of how on earth are we supposed to take Retribution seriously, it's been revealed apparently by Wrestling Inc. and other sites, according to PW Insider, that word going around is that WWE officials are playing a big traditional 5-on-5 Survivor Series match between the members of Retribution and the members of the main roster. And I was thinking to myself, I still don't care. I don't care. I genuinely do not care. You had something going, you had progress finally being made, and I don't care. You can't fix this. You can't fix this. Like, you already pushed it with the mask. Only some of them look intimidating, but people know who these people are if they've been watching NXT. And then you remember, oh wait, we're supposed to take lewd comments as lewd names as serious names because Vince doesn't want to do research. And now let's let's get a Survivor Series match. Let's do the Nexus angle, but this time we get it right. Except we'll probably fail miserably already of this, and we can't take this group seriously. So let's get it right, I think. I'm a genius. So, yeah. Let's go to some more positive news. Roman Reigns has announced during a Zoom call, the big dog himself confirmed that he will wrestle shirtless against his cousin Jey Uso at Sunday's Clash of Champions. However, Reigns plans to retain his swag-style cargo pants. So this is what he said during a Zoom call with Mania Club, who were raising money for Connor's cure. Said this: "To fans that want me to change my gear, get over it. I'm not going to go out there in trunks. However, if you watch me on Sunday, you'll probably see me with my shirt off. That's the only change I'm making to my attire." Reigns, who immediately used his 5-month hiatus to work on his physique, said he's still putting in the hard yards to be stage ready in order to wrestle shirtless. "I'm not a perfect or bodybuilder, but I feel confident to go out there and be a scary looking athlete. Ever since I entered the wrestling business, I did not want my outfit to become a talking point. I've always felt like the superstar and not just a costume guy. As for the new theme, Roman urged fans to remain patient since his on-screen character is yet to morph into a true heel. There's a lot more to that than just creating my own music. It requires me to go through a lot of channels. You have to understand, I'm not automatically a bad guy now. You've seen it, the change of my character in gradual steps. You've seen the layers of that so far. So yeah, this is basically saying, do what you've been doing with Retribution, but this time there will be a good payoff because we have Paul Heyman on this. Paul Heyman's going to save the day. So yeah, he wants to build himself up to get to that point to change his stuff. And there were sayings that the reason why he never took off the vest is because of the hernia injury. There was a medical reasoning to keep this vest on, but now it looks like that's probably going to change, but I don't know. So, yeah, I'm like, okay, so they're gradually going through the process to make him be the villain of the world. And at least they will hopefully be a better payoff because Paul Heyman's working on this. The build-up is actually working. Whereas if you have Retribution, they were just doing the same thing. Vandalism, vandalism, vandalism. Attack somebody once or twice. Then vandalism, vandalism, vandalism. And then we'll attack someone once or twice. That wasn't really important to the big mainstream main stars. And then reveal ourselves and ruin everything. So, yeah. Good on Roman for finally changing his attire. Let's get a shake up here. I can't wait to see what the music's going to be, hopefully. According to a report on GameSpot.com, Amazon Prime Day kicks off on October 13th. Woo! From the CNET site, GameSpot's sister site. So, yeah, GameSpot is going to... The Amazon Prime Day kicks off October 13th, which is months after because the annual sale was postponed due to the virus because Amazon knew that this was a bad idea to do it. So yeah, and all the manufacturing and shipping stuff slowed to a crawl. So they had initially planned to delay it till August, then they would push it up to September and then again in October. Now there's a finalized date, and hopefully the delays will lead to a robust stock for all the major sought-after products and yada yada yada. But yeah, this is part of the big. Due to the virus, Amazon Prime Day had to stop for a while, and now it's coming back. Let's see how this works out for this year because this whole year's been a complete freaking disaster. Dan DiDio, so he was fired because he has failed as a leader at times. And everyone asks, what will he do next? Please say it's retirement to some extent because I don't know what else you could do other than work for Marvel. But, okay, he's going to go ahead and become a teacher at the school of the Kerbert School. A longtime fan and supporter of the Kerbert School, I'm excited to be involved in contributing to their online program. The DiDio will be teaching a new online course from concept to sale. In the course, he will show students how to develop and present your ideas for a character, book, or series to publishers and media outlets. During these weekly sessions, students will discuss and work towards constructing a series Bible, a story concept pitch that will generate opportunities in a crowded marketplace. We are overjoyed to welcome Dan into our online students for studies facility. He is someone who needs no introduction and who has been an integral part of the comics industry for years. The knowledge and passion that he brings to the project is second to none. I mean, if his passion is hating Wally West, I would probably lead into buying into that idea, but yeah, I'm not a fan of Danny DiDio because he could be an awesome guy. Let's be honest, he could be an awesome guy outside the business, but the decisions he keeps making, the hatred he has for fictional freaking characters who don't exist, he treats them like they do exist. Like he tries to get rid of Nightwing because we grew up with him, that's the only reason you like him, or Wally West because and make that joke that turned into an urban myth, even though the internet exists, that a Flash has to die in every crisis, and now DC's making shots at that because the Darkest Knight said in a recent book saying, hey Flash family, does a Flash have to die in every crisis? Is it true? And it's like, that has to be Dan DiDio. The Darkest Knight is a parody of Dan DiDio at this point. But yeah, so he's going into teaching, but That's not my decision and everything, but let's move on to more DC news. Jim Campbell on the unauthorized Watchmen sequel, aka Rorschach, has said in a public statement 2 words and they still managed to F up the lettering. And Campbell tweeted of the Forbidden Planet exclusive variant and to Rorschach #1 by Brian Boland, which features the titular character Rorschach saying a smile. The I in smile uses the crossbar I and an I with the crossbar at the top and the bottom, which would only be seen as lettering for L, as in oneself. And otherwise, regular I with no crossbar should be used. But that was just the opening salvo. Jim Campbell let loose, saying also F Tom King, F George Ferrars, Dave Stewart, F anyone who participates in this blatant IP theft by DC. If your paycheck is so poor that you'll sanction this absolute robbery, F you. To be clear, you sell your work for hire. You know what to expect, Campbell continued, but Watchmen wasn't work for hire. The revision clause clearly implies that the work remained Warren Gibbons' copyright, and that DC licensed it under specific circumstances. This is theft. The fanboy in me would kill to get a DC gig on any number of titles that I love, but they could be offering me $50 a page and I wouldn't touch this S word. The thing is, I don't think WFH contracts are inherently evil. Creators trade off risk for reward, but this isn't that. If the rights were supposed to revert back to Moore and Gibson, and after the work went out of print, which never did, then clearly the rights resided with them and were licensed to DC. The fact that DC has folded Watchmen into their wholly owned universe is unquestionably an IP grab, which may be legal, but which is morally reprehensible. I'm certain Moore has taken legal advice on this, and I'm sure that advice says, whatever the merits of your case, DC won't have such deep pockets that they will bankrupt you long before you get anywhere near court. And that sadly is the state of the world, but if other creators didn't help massive corporations F over the creators, well, that would be nice, wouldn't it? And again, WFH stuff is fair game, but that's not what this is. So, okay, a bit of context. So there was a deal between Moore Gibbons and DC that once Watchmen left print, because at the time things were a lot different, DC agreed that, okay, once we're out of print, you can have the license back. And Alan Moore agreed that was the best deal at the time. And then because Watchmen was just so damn good, apparently, DC never had it leave print, and the rights maintained to DC. Moore was pissed and has never forgiven them for that, but still came back to do V for Vendetta, and hated the movie adaptations. That's another story. But he hated that. He hates them. DC did offer an out, saying this, look, we want you to produce a prequel and a sequel to Watchmen. You think you can do that? If you do that, we'll give you back the rights. And Moore said, fuck you, I'm not doing that. Because they'll probably find another way to screw him over, so it's perfectly understandable why he felt like he would have lost this if he tried, so he just obviously didn't go with it. So, yeah, that's the big story I keep hearing. I heard this from Linkara, so he has to be accountable on that. So, yeah, crazy stuff going around with that. I'm still planning to read it, I hope, if I get the reviews right, but, so, there was reports going around that Call of Duty user accounts were being hacked, and Activision support came out with a public statement saying, if you think you may be at risk, please check out these helpful step-by-step tips to safeguard your account with a link. But they have posted a picture update note stating reports suggesting Activision Call of Duty accounts have been compromised are not accurate. We investigate all privacy concerns, and as always, we recommend that players take precaution to protect their Activision accounts, as well as any other accounts at all times. You will receive emails when major changes are made to your Call of Duty accounts. If you do not make these changes, please be sure to follow the steps provided. So, it's currently unknown where these hacking reports originated, but they spread far enough for Activision to issue this statement denying the reports. There was recommendations that if your account was changed, then you should probably, switch your password up. But, Activision says this. We'll buy it for now, and we'll look into it. So, that's all we can hope for. So, the Xbox Series X pre-orders launched today. I managed to get my Series X. Woo! 3 minutes after the pre-orders went live. However, Best Buy, GameStop, and everyone else is failing miserably. Because 2020 needs to sum this up. So, Best Buy, all the sites were reporting major issues. Even my mom, when we were doing the pre-order trying to get the pre-orders, we're getting these error messages. Complete disaster all around, let's be honest. Complete disaster all around. And yeah, a lot of them had their own issues, so yeah, but I'm not sure if this was worse or better, but at least in Microsoft's defense, they could say, we gave a heads up month in advance, like nearly a month in advance, so you could have prepared for this. You have the money for it, so you could have prepared for this, whereas Sony was like, do it right away, with no warning. So, yeah, at least they can say that. Meanwhile, one of the actors for The Mandalorian says answers will come in season 3 and 4. In a recent appearance at the People's Emmy Award pre-show, the character who portrays the Moff Gideon character spoke about the potential to build up upon the groundwork that has always been established in The Mandalorian's first and second seasons. We're living in a universe that is huge and that there's so much to explore. So I think the show is going to lay the groundwork for depth and breadth. If that's going to come in season 3 and 4, where you're really going to start getting answers. So a third season was rumored in development. However, this is the first time there's only directly connected with the production has referenced the possibility of the show being renewed for more seasons. Though it doesn't necessarily mean that all the show's big secrets will be kept fully under wraps in the second season. The next season of The Mandalorian is going to be very interesting because you're going to start to find out the power of the child, what the child really means other than hypocrisy. You'll start to uncover the origins of the dark saber that Moff Gideon has and how that plays into previous Star Wars history connected to the Clone Wars and other shows. You'll start to get a real dramatic sense of the territory. So, this picked up a Cameo of Emmy Awards for cinematography, production design, sound editing, and sound mixing, as well as a big win for outstanding special visual effects at the Emmy show. So, congrats on that. But, yeah, tons of characters are scheduled to come in, and rumoredly it's going to have Ahsoka Tano on board, and Boba Fett's scheduled to come back. Apparently, it's been confirmed by the actor. So I'm excited for that. It's going to be a fun ride. The creator of Thomas Was Alone announced this as a solitaire game with a story campaign. I have no idea why he started like that. But, yeah, it was announced by Mike Bethel, the creator of Thomas Was Alone. John Wick Hex has announced his third short, The Solitaire Conspiracy. He announced on Twitter that Solitaire would be a stylish take on the classic solo card game, complete with extra powers, with time attacks and skirmish mode, and a full story campaign. According to the game's Steam page, you play a game of Solitaire to guide home the scattered agents of a compromised agency, Portigo. Guided by Portigo's only remaining analyst, Jim Ratio, voiced by Greg Miller, reads the description. And you must master the unique powers of each crew in a game of tactical solitaire like none of you have ever played before. Guide your crew home in a tale of intrigue where nobody can be trusted. Keep your cool in a world of AI spies and cyber-enhanced operators. So, this guy has worked on smaller experimental games released between bigger projects by Bethel. And he said this isn't connected to his last two shorts, Subsurface Circular and Quarantine Circular. It's a brand new storyline, meaning no prior knowledge is required, except maybe knowing of playing in the Solitaire on Windows 95, and that probably helps according to IGN. So, interesting game. It does seem interesting, but I'm not sure if I'm going to be playing it, but I'll probably check out some videos when it releases. So, yeah. Marvel Spider-Man continues getting shot in the arm with the remastered announcement that is not going to have a physical version. Boo! You only get it if you purchase the Ultimate Edition of Spider-Man Miles Morales. However, another worse news is that saves will not transfer from the original game to the remastered, according to Insomniac Games. So we're back to square one. So I was like, so wait, can't you just make it backwards compatible then? like you said, 99% of all PS4 games are backwards compatible. So, yeah. Bright Memory is aiming for a Xbox Series X launch day, and then there's going to be a sequel called Brightman and Infinite coming 2021. So, one man studio FYQD is trying to do it at launch. So, currently in development for the launch of the Xbox X and Series X and S, with its already announced follow-up Bright Memory Infinite to the follow of the year, the one-man developer FYQD announced that the game was in development, that he's trying to do it at launch. Alongside the announcement, the developer also confirmed the follow-up will come to PC and Xbox Series X next year. Bright Memory is a melee and ranged FPS developed by FY, developed in his spare time and released on Steam in 2019. The game combines a cyberpunk story with class action combat and environmental puzzles. Originally envisioned as a first episode in a series, he has now decided to remake Bright Memory significantly extended, calling the new game Bright Memory Infinite. Infinite was announced and shown off at Xbox Series X at Inside Xbox Showcase in May, and IGN had called it one of their favorite series games shown on that day. Okay. So, GameStop has announced that console, the Xbox Series X pre-orders, could be limited at GameStop stores. So, yeah, that's you failed on that. It's due to all the pre-order side comprehension and quantity. So yeah. Still, Microsoft has an advantage because whereas Sony is based in Japan and they have to deliver it much more carefully due to the virus, Microsoft's like, we got home front advantage. So, yeah. Bad all around. Star Wars: The High Republic. Light of the Jedi will cross multiple genres. The comic writer discussed his upcoming Light of the Jedi novel, introduce fans to the world of Star Wars: The High Republic. Said this in a quote: "My personal mandate for Light of the Jedi was to explore genres in a way we hadn't directly seen in the franchise, to bring concepts of Star Wars to places that would feel fresh and cool. It's a disaster movie. It's a mystery. It's a race against time, team on a mission story." So I'm thinking to myself, okay, granted, you can do that, but when you're saying the race against time thing, it's like, it's hard to really get invested in that, like, because you know what the end game goal is. Like, really, if we have the characters that could live out their lives, that's the one thing, but if you're trying to say, this will affect everything and everybody, it can bring about the destruction of all life. Whereas when you tell a prequel story, it's more like you don't want this character to die. You don't want that character to die. You want to have hope they somehow survived and lived out their days in peace. Like how Ahsoka has been seen. Like everyone expected that, oh, it's a prequel show, so clearly she's going to die, right? Nope, they went a different direction, and now people just hope in both Legends and in New Canon she managed to live out her days in peace after the Empire fell. And from indication, she did die, hopefully not, or she's alive at the time of the First Order and the war there. So, yeah, it could have been interesting to see her in the movie, but fuck that. So, Xbox is committed to gaining iOS support for xCloud. The Phil Spencer is confident that xCloud gaming streaming service will eventually gain access to iOS-supported devices despite rule change. Spencer took the stance on CNBC Squawk Alley, saying this when asked about it: "When you get a large-scale general computer platforms like mobile phones, people should have access to great content and services that are out there. We remain committed to that. There are over 3 billion people who play video games today. Many of them play on phones, and we're committed to bringing Game Pass to all phones, including Apple iPhones. We'll continue the conversation, and I'm sure we'll get to some resolution." Spencer spoke the real issues regarding the devices, clarifying it's not related to money or finances. "Our biggest issue is that the cloud game streaming apps are actually not allowed in the way Game Pass is built for other platforms. For us, this is about gamers having great access to content from creators they love on devices they own. So Apple currently doesn't allow that kind of stuff, or in the classical traditional sense, and is trying to make it much more complicated. But they said that they do allow cloud games to be downloaded on individual apps, and Microsoft rejected the solution, saying that they want all games based in one location, not entirely multiple. So, yeah, I'm hoping they do that. I'm hoping xCloud does come to iOS, but we'll see how Apple responds, since they are inherently stubborn. If they lose the case to Epic Games, that might be the thing that breaks it. But, should we really want to hope Epic Games gets away with it? After all the shady crap they pulled? So, Star Trek has been in the E phase because, ever since the directors left and certain actors left, uh, Paramount Pictures had announced that Star Trek movies are still in development. According to Giant Freaking Robot, it was rumored that Paramount has scrapped Star Trek 4 along with other projects from Quentin Tarantino and Nora Holloway. The studio, however, has confirmed to Screen Rant that this is false. Tarantino pitched his Star Trek movie to J.J. Abrams in 2017, calling it Pulp Fiction Space. So that sounds awesome. And described as opposed to definitely being a rated R one. Holloway meanwhile envisioned a film closer to the spirit of exploration from the original Star Trek series, with an emphasis on why humanity has to come together to prevail. These movies were rumored to be canceled, with the rationale being all the focus for Star Trek contract would be shifted entirely to television series titles. And Paramount has several existing series within the Star Trek universe on CBS All Access, Discovery, Picard, and Lower Decks, with Pike and Spock's show Strange New Worlds, and a series about a Section 31 organization slated to arrive in the future. So, yeah, I have not watched any of the Star Trek movies. Like I said, it's the movies I do own, but it's more like that feeling of, oh, I'll get around to it one day, which I could have had with Star Wars if I never got into the prequels. So, thanks, prequels. So, I really have no opinion about this. If people are hyped, then they're hyped. Cassian Andor Rogue One director Tony Gilroy no longer helming the Disney Plus series. However, he was supposed to direct the first 3 episodes, did not want to depart New York for the United Kingdom due to the COVID virus. As such, he will be replaced by Black Mirror's Toby Haynes, though Gilroy remains on board as executive producer and showrunner. So, yeah, this is the Cassian Andor series, a prequel that establishes him as a character and fills in that gap line where he says, "I've been in this fight since I was 6 years old." Because books and extra money and essential material that makes for character development, right? So, anyways, that happened, and and plus we already know where this is going. They're all gonna die at the end of Rogue One, but I was like, couldn't you, you could still have the show, but you could also have given some character development. There was clearly scenes that were cut from the movie, I think, where there was going to be character development, but they were like, no, we need more tie-in material to sell and make more money off of, because we're Disney and we're bankrupt morally and ethically. Also creatively sometimes. But the Arrowverse is getting a big change soon. For you see, Supergirl is having an extended season 6, and it will be the final 20 episodes of the Supergirl series. Yep, Supergirl is ending with season 6. An actor came out saying, "To say it's been an honor portraying this iconic character would be a massive understatement. Seeing the incredible impact the show has had on young girls around the world, because young men who look up to Supergirl is just fucked off, has always left me humbled and speechless. She's had an impact on me too. She's taught me strength I didn't know I had, to find hope in the darkest of places, and that we are stronger when we're united." Well, that will never happen in humanity's history, because humanity wants to destroy itself before ever thinking common sense. She's had to find hope in the darkest of places, and that we are stronger when we're united. What she stands for pushes for all of us to be better. She's changed my life for the better, and I'm forever grateful. I'm so excited that we get to plan our conclusion to this amazing journey, and I cannot wait for you to see what we have in store. I promise we're going to make it one hell of a final season. So, yeah, the actress of Supergirl came out confirming this, and she's hoping to end this to honor both the series and the commitment to I cannot wait, and saying all this, and yeah, Supergirl ending, and so it's curious to know where they go with this. I haven't watched any of the shows. I've just never been interested in watching the Arrowverse, even though I probably should have. But Supergirl is scheduled to end after 6 seasons, with the extended season 6 having 20 episodes. So it's going to probably end in an explosive way. We don't know if she's going to die or not, because she didn't die in Crisis, so she'll probably die or she'll live. We'll see. But yeah, that's about it. Supergirl's ending after 6 seasons with 20 episodes to build up to the big event. So that's about it for Tuesday's edition of Talks. So this was Neo Reality Collective. Feel free to comment, subscribe, and donate to for more. I'll see you all next time tomorrow night, and you'll be seeing my latest comic book roundup. So look forward to that. Good luck, everyone, and stay safe out there. Peace.